Hi there, Kate here from Stirling Fit, Kate Stirling of course. So thank you for coming on board with the Stirling Steps Lite. This is going to be 4 weeks to really having a little overhaul of perhaps your current lifestyle. The most important thing for this, from me, is that you have fun with this. This is not a stressful challenge. This is not like, you're not going to fail it. It's just about adding as many of my steps into your life as you can. So I'm going to quickly go through the steps now, and they are all on the website obviously, and you can have a little bit more of a read of them over there, but just to very quickly run through them. So step number 1 is self-love and worth. Now with this, I recommend that you really start experimenting with something called mirror work. This is where you literally look at yourself in the mirror and you see yourself in its entirety. I've put this in because it was a hugely powerful tool that I worked through as part of my own journey with building my own self-esteem. Oh, sorry. And things like that, and it can be very confronting, so just play with it. Play with looking at yourself in a mirror, really see yourself and start to notice the thoughts that come in. Any thoughts that are negative, you've got to catch them. You've got to be like, no way Linda, I call them monkey mind Linda, or whatever you want to call that voice up in your head. You've got to catch it and you've got to say, no, that is not a true story if it's a negative thought. And I want you to remember to talk to yourself like you would do a child. So imagine there is a child like you inside of you. You are not allowed to talk to that child inside like you would do to yourself in the real world, if that makes sense. So imagine that you have someone you love in your life. You're not going to be horrible to them. And if you are, you're going to feel really bad about it. And that's the kind of energy I'd like you to drive into yourself. So no negative thinking. And I always use my legs as an example. But say, for example, I look in the mirror and I think, oh my God, my legs are just horrible. Oh God, I'm so gross. I'm disgusting. You've got to catch that thought and you think, no, my legs are strong. They're powerful. I've got amazing legs. My legs deserve to be seen. Okay. And then over time, you just keep catching those thoughts. You keep looking in the mirror, you keep seeing yourself for exactly who you are. Okay, so step number 2 is gratitude and mindset. So these kind of play in together, these 1 and 2s here. So gratitude, I'm going to encourage you to get a jar or a Tupperware or a pot or some sort like that, and you're going to write moments that you're grateful for over the next 4 weeks, and you're going to spend time consciously trying to remember to do this. So whether you set an alarm in your phone and every day you say, okay, I'm going to spend 2 minutes, 30 seconds even, thinking of something I'm grateful for, and it can literally be like, I had a really great cup of coffee this morning, or oh, I had a really nice bird sing. It's so simple, but it's hugely powerful. So start to really see and witness your life and write these things down, pop them in the jar. And then at the end of the 4 weeks, you're going to look back through them and just realize how much you have in your life. 3 is movement. So obviously a big part of what I do is lots of exercise and sweating and things like that. If you are, remember you've got access to the plan that I've designed for you for the next 4 weeks. You're going to aim to do 4 of my classes a week. You're going to aim to do 10,000 steps a day, okay? And you're just going to keep as active as you can. So whether that is doing things like gardening, cleaning, putting the music on, having a dance, all these kind of things, you're looking to up your overall activity levels, okay? And you're going to make that a thing. You're going to be really determined. And I know we're all kind of probably a bit over walking, but you can't get enough of a walk and of those steps and of just generally being active. So that is a big step. If you're not a member, you can find some of my free classes, or perhaps you've got your own stuff you like to do. Balance with food. Okay, so this one, next 4 weeks, I'm going to encourage you to cook as much as you can from scratch. Maybe you batch cook stuff, bung it in the freezer so that you've got it on, demand, as it were, for when you need it. I recommend you look at grilling foods rather than frying, or maybe even steaming or baking. Okay, so we're going to look to find that balance where you're not using excess amounts of oils or fats and things like that. Like, these are really healthy and really important for you, but I recommend experimenting with using different flavors, different seasoning, using lemon. It's a great time of the year to start using a lot of lemon in your food. Likewise, even just with making homemade salad dressings, avoiding shop bought stuff, making your tomato sauces from scratch, using lots of flavorings there. And yeah, like I said, avoid adding excess sugar and salt where you can. Sleep, you're going to aim for 7 to 9 hours of sleep per night. That is a priority. I would like you to commit to that as best as you can, please. Balance with drink. Okay, so drink in this respect means alcohol, fizzy drinks, sugary drinks, things like that. I recommend getting a really good sugar-free squash, or using mint, cucumber and lemon to flavour your water. Okay, and I'm going to recommend that for the first 7 days you look to avoid alcohol entirely. And then if you do like having a drink, I recommend you stick to basically the government guidelines, which is 14 units per week and no more than that. So that's about 6 pints. It's about 5.5 large glasses of wine, so a bottle and a half pretty much. Now, hilariously or not hilariously, the spirit measures have just completely slipped my mind, but I think it's about 5 doubles. It's probably a bit less than that actually, but I will write that down and make sure that that's there for you so that it's actually right for you. I do recommend as well, if you are someone that enjoys spirits, look to mix them up with like sodas, okay, or sugar-free drinks. So if you have a gin, perhaps you want to have a sugar-free tonic instead. We're just looking to really lighten everything up. If you are going to continue having a little drink, make sure please you have a glass of water with every alcoholic drink that you have, because sometimes we end up drinking more just because we're thirsty. Okay, so that's going to also affect your sleep, it's going to affect your overall mood, it's going to play into everything. So it's a big one, that one. But I'm not going to say you can't have it entirely. Just look for the first 7 days to reduce it or cut it out entirely, and then maybe play with introducing it back if you want to. Or just don't have it for a month. You'll feel good for it. Hydration. So please keep your water intake up. Likewise, you know, the sugar-free squashes and the cucumbers and the mints and the lemons in your water to help keep your hydration levels 2 to 3 litres a day. If you sweat a lot, you might want to have a little bit more. Just make sure that you're not ever really, really thirsty. Breathwork. Okay, I've not been breathing much in this tape. You can tell I'm racing along. So breathwork is part of my steps, because when we're stressed and anxious and worried and things like that, we don't breathe. We're like, yeah, everything just catches up here. So breath work, we're going to look at really grounding down. That's why yoga is part of the movement aspect as well. Connecting breath to movement, super important. Make sure that you really, when you feel stressed, you just take some deep breaths. I'm going to give you some exercises that you can do over 4 weeks as well to play into that, so keep an eye out for those. Presence, this is the big one. We are so not present in our life sometimes. We're just like on our phones, on Instagram, our brains are all over the place. We're having conversations with people, we're not even listening. So presence is a big one, because it plays into how you are, it plays into how you perceive yourself in the world, it plays into how you walk down the street. And there's different circles of energy you can play with. Perhaps you're really introverted, maybe you're really outgoing, perhaps you're just like in the middle. Now in the middle, that's where that presence, that magical moment happens. So you're able to be there, but you're also able to take in everything else. So over the next 4 weeks, really experiment with being present. It's nuts how much we're not present. I'm going to be working on that as one of my big ones that I'm not very good at. My brain is always elsewhere. So just make sure over the next couple of weeks, whenever you're having a conversation with someone, you are present with them. You are present and finding that gratitude in your life. It plays in, there's a link. And the last one is play. You've got to have fun. If you find this challenge stressful, I've not done my job right, okay? Because this is all about trying new things. It's about changing your habits for the longer term. 4 weeks is such a short period of time, okay? If you get stressed in the 4 weeks, it's because you put too much pressure on yourself. You might have set a goal in this, whether that's a physical goal, a mental goal, how you want to perceive yourself by the end. But remember, we are products of our upbringing, we're products of our choices, we're products of everything. So you're not going to just turn everything around in 4 weeks. This is setting you up. These steps are setting you up for the longer term. Have fun, have a laugh, enjoy it. Rope in your mates, rope in your family. Get the music playing, have a dance in your kitchen, whatever you want to do. This is about changing your life for the long term. And of course, there's going to be moments where you're like, oh God, why on earth have I committed to this? It's cool. Just reset. The next day, you start again. Okay, no shame, no guilt. We're looking to develop those healthier habits for the long term. And that's about it really. If you have any questions, please do drop me a line. I can't wait to see how you find the 4 weeks. And as always, I'm open to feedback, but mainly just have some fun. And let's set up the rest of the year. Tripped over there. Let's set up the rest of the year like it is going to be the best rest of the year you've ever had in your life. I'm going to see you online.